Well, by I will do it, I mean I would press the button. But in a dramatic turn of events, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has publicly criticized former President Donald Trump's recent decision to send advanced weaponry to Ukraine. This announcement made on July 15th comes just hours after Trump outlined a plan for European nations to bear the financial burden. Greene, a prominent MAGA figure, expressed her discontent, stating, I said it on every rally stage, no more money to Ukraine. We want peace. Trump's pivot has sparked a civil war within the MAGA movement, another one, with Greene emphasizing that voters are more concerned about domestic issues than foreign conflicts.
Now,
Meanwhile,
now, let me just say something. Look, I like MTG. Okay, I like her. I think she's got her head on, on her shoulders right. She's biblical. She believes in the Bible. She's a good, solid Christian that's in political. She's representative in Georgia for House Representatives. But on this one, I just don't agree with her on. Okay, going against Trump, and look, I'm not necessarily for the funding of Ukraine either, but at this stage in the game, I mean, in order to bring Putin to the table, you can't just not fund Ukraine, because then Russia's going to have all the cards, so to speak. Remember when he, ousted Zelensky and talking about you don't have the cards, right? It's a negotiation. And so, MTG, she's not a negotiator like Donald Trump is. So I just have to trust Donald Trump in that. And I believe that Donald Trump is doing the right thing to bring Putin to the table. He can't just let them fall.
is there something in the art of war about all this? How you just cause us all to be fatigued to death and just exhaust us until we just bow to anything you say or do and just have complete trust in you, like Stockholm syndrome or something like this? Because they're talking about the Streisand effect that's taking place, but it's really not what's going on inside of me.
Yeah.
Say we were trying to talk about the Ukraine war, and I'm still going back to Epstein. I have mental illness. He did it. He killed me.
Jandro, pray for him. Pray for Matt. Pray for us. We need your prayers. We need your prayers, guys. Oh, man.
But that's my wonder. Is it just us though? Who's having this level of fatigue because we're inundated in this news cycle all day long? Because the show might look like something to you guys, but in order to make this show, we have to read news and watch news, and clip news and do all this work just in order to know what's going on topically, just to be able to bring this thing to you guys. And I'm feeling it. And it's not like I can listen to the audio Bible while I'm doing this research or something, It's like I sort of have to concentrate. I'm used to being able to multitask, Oh, if only I could have my old problems back, which is lack of prayer, lack of worship, Now I have a new problem. The new problem is Jeffrey Epstein!
Epstein. I knew you were going to say that. Oh, man. Oh, man.
This new video footage has came out here. Now it's going to have a little bit of cursing, Alex, but it's Donald Trump cursing, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad. Guys, check this one out. This is a leaked tape from Donald Trump. I don't know if you've seen this one, Alex.
There it is.
To Putin, I said, if you go in to Ukraine, we're going to bomb out of Moscow. I'm telling you, I have no choice. The public wants it. The public. So he goes I don't believe you. He said, no way. And I said, way. And then he goes I don't believe you. But the truth is, he believed me 10%. And I told you this, he believed me 10%. Then I'm with President Xi of China. But I said the same thing to them. I said, if you go into Taiwan, I'm going to bomb Beijing. He thought I was crazy. He said, Beijing? You're going to bomb Beijing? I said, I have no choice. I got to bomb them. We're going to bomb Beijing. And he didn't believe me either, except 10%. And 10% is all you need. In fact, 5% would have been okay, too. And we never had a problem. We would have never had a problem.
Now, he's referencing the first administration when obviously he had face-to-face interactions with President Putin from Russia and Xi Jinping from China. And so, that's what he's referencing here. And so obviously, he's carrying that into, the second administration. And, how does this all tie in with the negotiations between Putin and Russia and the Ukraine war is, Donald Trump thought that he could just come in and just debo both countries. And look, Donald Trump has tried. I mean, we got to give him credit. He's tried to end the war in Ukraine, Ukraine and Russia. But look, I mean, as far as it goes, Russia's not giving in. They're already at war, and they understand that a negotiation is around the corner. Russia wants all the negotiating power in his court, and Ukraine just doesn't have it. And so again, we go back to Donald Trump saying that there's going to be weapons that are going to be given to Ukraine, defense weapons, offensive weapons, but it's not just going to be given to them. And I like what they're doing. They're actually going to be selling them to NATO. So it's not like we're just not going to get anything from them, and like we're just giving money away. So that is one positive, and I think that's definitely a positive. And obviously, we want the war to end. Nobody wants war, but at this point, you can't just leave Ukraine high and dry. They have to be able to defend themselves. They have good equipment, and NATO's going to buy them and distribute them. So, producer, where's my producer at? What's my producer doing back there? Look, man, Matt, you're fired. You're fired. Yeah. Matt, you're fired.
I was trying to run to go get ice for my arm. Because guys have to remember that.
Okay, you got to put your. Don't forget about your microphone, Matt.
Oh. Oh my gosh! I just. Hold on. Oh. Oh no!
Man.
What is this now? Oh gosh, Lord! What was that? Oh, it's some video.
Man. Matt.
Is someone talking? How is that thing even happening? Oh, it's the video. No, you have to remember that I have this thing going on with my arms, this crazy, horrible pain in my arm. Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. So, get to some of these comments here. Let's see. Jay is commenting the heck out of the chat right now. Thank you for all your comments, bro. Good to see you. He says, bro, it's been a big dilemma because of beliefs. I'm not sure what they're talking about, but anyways.
I just
Trolling. It's called we do a little trolling.
All right. Anyhow, so let's go to the next one here. So Russia is ready to strike Russia must be ready to strike the West if it escalates the Ukraine war. Medvedev says.
I'll call it. Well, when they say the West, I think they're talking about NATO or the NATO countries. I don't think they're talking about the United States. I mean, but at the same time, even if they strike Article 5 states that if they strike one NATO country, then basically you've struck them all. So, I think that's just gaslighting coming from Russia. I don't think Russia wants to do that. I think Russia has showed themselves to be a paper tiger, especially with the Ukraine war. We thought the Ukraine war would have been ended within 2 weeks. I remember when we were saying that when the war first started, and it's been, what has it been? 3 years now, almost, if not 2 years, two or 3 years now, and Russia's lost a lot of people. Ukraine's lost a lot of people. Unfortunately, but I think Russia has showed themselves to be a paper tiger. They're not as strong as we thought. The only thing that gives them strength is the nuclear bombs, the nuclear weapons, and so of course nobody wants a nuclear war. But let's be honest here. Russia that says that they're ready to strike the West if it escalates, like
which we are.
Which we are already. Yeah, we're already doing it. So yeah. What? Like so. No,
100%. I think it's a pretty big deal. Russia condemned the U.S. Condemned our decision to increase the arms shipments to Ukraine. And the announcement just made this morning, it signals Kiev that it should abandon any hopes for peace negotiations. Russian officials, including Deputy Chairman of the Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, however you pronounce that, have labeled the U.S. actions as blackmail and warned of potential preemptive strikes if the situation escalates. Trump has set a 50-day deadline for Moscow to agree to ceasefire or face tougher sanctions, including 100% tariffs on Russian goods. The ongoing conflict, which began in February of 2022, has resulted in already an estimated 1.2 million casualties. At least it's not deaths, making it Europe's deadliest conflict since World War II. And as the war continues,
that's what that is.
Well, casualties. Oh, is casualties death?
Yes.
1.2 million deaths.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
And I'm over here catching up on the Gilded Age.
Yeah, and worried about Epstein.
Season 3, episodes 1 through 4. You know, there's very few television shows that are clean enough that I can actually watch nowadays.
Yes, Toddler Mama says, "Be healed, Matt, in Jesus' name."
My arm and my mind.
Yes. Yes. No, but in all seriousness, though, Matt, yeah, it's 1.2 million, unfortunately, that's taken place in that war. And, you know, we always talk about, you know, people want to bring up the genocide in Israel or in Gaza, but we don't talk about how many deaths that have been taking place in Ukraine and Russia. Like that is, it's just been a terrible travesty what's been happening over there
since World War II. The greatest number of deaths since World War II, and the way that my life is being lived completely in La La Land over here. You know, building advertising TV cart scooters in the backyard and complaining about what I complain about on a daily basis. And 1.2 million people have died over there. I am so morally and consciously disconnected from what's happening over there in Ukraine. It boggles the mind of how that's even possible for me.
Yeah, and if I could say, like, I understand MTG, and when we say MTG, we're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay, the representative coming out of Georgia, Republican. You know, she's, you know, basically going against Trump, you know, about, you know, funding the war over there. And it's not the same thing that we were doing with Biden. See, it's completely different. Trump has agreed to sell to NATO, and then NATO will distribute to Ukraine. But see, this is all an effort to bring Putin to the table. And when you have Medvedev say that you know, this is going to cause escalation, and that, you know, you can forget about a peace deal now. Look, that's just gaslighting. We haven't gotten to a peace deal even before that. So, like, why are we going to believe them? Okay, we're not going to believe them. Trump, we're done believing Russia is coming to the table for a peace deal. It's time,
I got to believe somebody. I was believing Russia. I mean, that's another thing back and forth, bro. I was on the side of Russia, okay? I was over here saying that we started this whole thing with Ukraine. Right?
Well, we did.
I know, but literally, I thought that when Trump got in office, Russia was going to turn out being the good guy, and now I can't. I'm flipped on my head every other minute over here. Remember, I left all of this news garbage 8 years ago because at least I knew that, because I was a mouthpiece for this on the streets, I would repeat the conspiracies. You know, I left it because I thought the Lord told me to. But really, so I wouldn't accidentally lie people when I was relaying my opinion, you know? And now I feel like I'm at the exact same stage again, where it's like, what good is any of my opinions, you know? What good is any awareness of the news? By the way, like and subscribe to Faith the Faith of Nations so you can continue being tortured like we are, vicariously living through us in our pain. But there's a whole heck of a lot going on right now. Israel and Iran, okay? The war in Ukraine. Now the war in Syria. What's happening in Nigeria. Literally, I might really be starting to believe that we really are in the end times. You know, I'm one of these guys that, because I've heard every generation, you know, has been saying that same thing, and with the increase of technology and information, I thought it might be possible, but little by little, I'm coming closer and closer. And hey, maybe this Israel really is the end times Israel, man. Maybe everything really does add up, because this news cycle is absolutely insane on the war front and the loss of life.
Yeah. Let's go to what do we want to go to? Do we want to talk about the mark of the beast? Do we want to talk about Israel versus Christians, Trump tariffs? I'm kind of thinking mark of the beast here, man. Matt, what do you think?
Why don't you go ahead?
Okay.